Hello and welcome back to Focus Atlanta. Thank you so much for continuing to watch. In this segment, we're going to talk about education. We're going to talk about better outcomes for our children, in fact. And I am here with Kelli Bacote. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
So, book is Better Outcomes for Our Kids. Tell me a little bit about how this got founded.
Okay, well, yes, we are Better Outcomes for Our Kids, nonprofit organization led by African Americans. The organization is here to have discussions around publicly funded schools in the city of Atlanta and also performance. We are here to teach a language of choice, and this language is talked about all throughout the country, but here in the city, we don't talk about our options. And so we're here to teach that language of public charters, of traditional schools, of homeschooling, of vouchers, of virtual, all of that. All of that is new language for parents to empower them.
Absolutely. Now, when you told me about the organization, you are right. The first thing we think about if we think our neighborhood school isn't living up to what we want, or we think the standards aren't where we want them, we think, oh, well, I'm going to have to pay for private school, and that's not necessarily the truth. You have other options. You have other things that you could learn about.
Absolutely. And we want parents to know those options. We want because parents are the biggest stakeholder of a child. You know your child, you know his or her unique needs. And so we're not here to tell you what to do with your children, but we want to empower you so that you'll understand. Because it is too that one of our beliefs is that children, African American educated children, are the pillars of black families. So, you know, just think about that. They're holding us together. And so we have to make sure that they get a quality education to stop the generational cycle of poverty. And so that's why we were formed. The founder, David Mitchell, he is the CEO. And it was him. He actually had his preschool's age students in a traditional school, a high-performing traditional school. Dr. Nicole Evans-Jones was the principal. And after preschool, he said, what am I going to do now? Because they were in that pre-K program, but when he went to his own school, he said, okay, this is not up to par. What can I do? And he was blessed that his wife joined the board of a charter school, and that's how his kids got there. But it has definitely changed the foundation of their educational path. And I mean, for my experience was different. As COO, I'm Chief Operating Officer. And I've had 18 years in education. So I've worked with traditional schools and charter schools. And I always, when I was working in traditional schools as a teacher, a reading specialist, an intervention coach, a model teacher leader, I always targeted our lowest performing schools. Why? Because I knew I was a quality teacher. I knew that even when I sat down and talked with principals and analyzed data, I was giving back to our children. And so that's my passion, and that's why we've come together for to embark upon this organization.
I'm so excited because you're right. With that knowledge, with that education, parents can be better advocates for their kids. They want to do the right thing. They want to put them in the best situation, but they don't always feel like they can afford a private school. And you don't have to if you know your options, if you are open to homeschooling, if you know these things become more available to you,
and
if you are educated
dollars,
about it.
Public dollars.
Absolutely. So you guys have an event coming up, though.
So what's coming up? We've partnered with Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority, and so also just talking about education, we're going to talk about hot topics. And one of the hot topics coming up is OSD, Opportunity School District. We are an organization to inform and educate. That's what we're doing with school choice, and that's what we want to do with this topic. So we have a panel discussion on October 6th, and we partner with Alpha Kappa Alpha, and we will have leaders talking about education forum. We're going to have someone there from Georgia Association of Educators, DeKalb County. We're going to have a judge there. So all of these people coming to talking about whether or not they're for or against. Now, we're a 501(c), so of course we're not taking a stance at that. No, I'm going to serve as a moderator. And and so we will have the panel then. It's at the gathering spot on October 6th. And so we were looking forward to that.
Kelli, thank you so much for coming on and sharing all this information.
Yes, thank you.
We want everybody to get ingrained in the book movement and make sure that everybody is educated and informed, and they are able to be advocates for their kids. So
Okay,
thank you
I
for what you're
appreciate
doing.
your support. Oh, and we're at www.bookatl.org.
All right. Bookatl.org. Please take the
Yes.
opportunity to go to the website and learn a little bit more. This might be exactly what you're looking for your children. This might be exactly the education that you need to make the better options or make the better choices for your children's educational options. Stay tuned for more Focus on That.